Welcome to Independent Green Party, Green TV. I'm Kerry Campbell, Independent Green Party.
And I'm Brooklyn Kinley with the Independent Green Party. Joining us today is Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate, Joe DeMare. Green Party, Green TV focus is Independent Green Party candidates. Independent Green Party, Green TV is about Green Party, Green New Deal, equal jobs for the economy, positive Green Party solutions. Green Party eco-capitalism. Prices must tell the environmental truth. The green industrial revolution. Solar jobs, wind jobs, weatherization jobs, rail jobs, efficiency jobs. Building green neighborhoods, walkable, bikeable, pedestrian, rail-friendly communities.
Joe DeMare, Green Party of Ohio, is petitioning to get on the ballot as a Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate. Joe DeMare, welcome to Green Party, Green TV.
Joe DeMare, Green Party, please introduce yourself to viewers. Where were you born and where did you grow up, Joe DeMare?
Well, I was born actually in Western New York, Rochester, New York, and I grew up mostly in Western New York, but I did go to high school in Centerville, Ohio, Centerville High School, and I came back here when I was starting college. I did my first 3 years of college at University of Dayton, and my wife is from Toledo, so my whole life basically has been bouncing back and forth from Western New York to Toledo to Ohio.
Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate for Senate, hopefully in Ohio.
Oh, yes.
Please tell us about your education background there, Joe. You started to allude to it. Give us your full educational resume, please.
Okay, well, I have a bachelor's in English, which I started at the University of Dayton and completed at State University of New York at Buffalo. And I have a master's in teaching English from Dewville College, which is also in Buffalo.
This is great, Joe. You're going to critique my script writing here shortly, I'm sure. Go ahead.
I'd love to.
You are watching Green Party, Independent Green Party, Green TV with Joe DeMare, Green Party Ohio candidate for U.S. Senate.
Green Party candidates are recruiting candidates for local, state, and federal office around the country. Joe DeMare, how can people get in touch with you if they want to be a Green Party candidate?
Well, I have a few ways you can contact me. One, the simplest is Facebook. Just look for Joe DeMare, or you can go to my Facebook page, Joe DeMare for Senator. Also, you can email me at joe@joedemare4agreenfuture.org. That's a huge email, but it's FOR, joedemare4agreenfuture.org. And I'd be happy to contact anyone through email. And I may as well go ahead and give my phone number. It's 419-973-5841. And feel free to call or text me, and I'll get back to you.
In Virginia, people can contact the Independent Green Party at 703-351-1235. Email Independent Green Party State Chairman Joe Otto at usrepublic@aol.com. Please check out the Independent Greens YouTube channel or contact the Indie Green Party on Facebook.
Joe DeMare, Ohio Green Party. Joe, tell us there now, you had an exciting statewide election for governor. The Green Party won ballot status in Ohio. Now, to get on the ballot for U.S. Senate in Ohio, with the Green Party having ballot status in Ohio, Joe, what are the requirements?
Well, the requirements are actually pretty straightforward because we got 3% of the statewide vote in the 2014 election, thanks to Anita Rios and Bob Fitrakis. Anita was our gubernatorial candidate, and Bob was our lieutenant governor candidate. Because they got 3%, we now have what's called minor party status, which means that we only have to get 500 valid signatures to get on the ballot for a statewide election.
Joe DeMare, Green Party.
Sorry, Joe.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say it's a little trickier than that because in Ohio you have to only get signature candidates on your party petition from people who are either registered Green Party members or who are non-affiliated, as in no party. And so you have to be very careful because if you just ask people what their affiliation is, more than half the time they don't know. They're wrong.
Oh, wow.
So we've been going literally door to door with lists from the boards of elections in the various counties and approaching people that we already know are eligible. So it's taken a while, but this way we're sure that we're going to have valid signatures.
Joe DeMare, Green Party, what work do you do for a living?
What? Excuse me?
What work do you do for a living?
What's your job, Joe? How do you earn a living?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I actually am a machinist in an industrial ceramics factory. We make components for industrial glass furnaces. It's very hard, very dirty. I come home every day pretty much exhausted, and then I start my campaigning.
Joe, I just want to interject. Brooklyn's got the next question for you, but my father was a machinist, and so I salute you. He was a hard-working man, and he loved doing the work. Brooklyn?
As a Green Party candidate for the U.S. Senate, Joe DeMare, people will want to know about your family. What can you tell us about your family?
Well, I have a wife that I've been married to for the past 31 years, Carolyn, whom I love very much. We have 2 sons, Joey, who's 22, and Tony, who's 28. Joey is just about finished with college with a degree in computer science. Tony has a degree in recreation, and he's in Alaska right now, getting a master's in outdoor recreation. We're, very proud of our sons. I come from a big family. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, all doing very well with nice families of their own. Our son Tony is hard of hearing, and so when he was growing up, I had to learn sign language. So that's one skill that I have.
Wow.
Pretty much we're a normal family, and we're doing very well. Thank you.
Joe DeMare on Green Party, Independent Green Party, Green Party, Green TV. Joe DeMare, Ohio Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate. Joe, Green Party politics, Senate, a big job. And it's taken a lot of work. I know from following you on the web. You've been out there collecting signatures all over Ohio and hardworking. What is your passion, Joe? What got you up off the couch as a Green Party person to make you decide to run for office, and such a high office?
Well, the theme to my campaign is it's time. It's simply time that we put people into office who aren't taking corporate money. People understand that we have to apply the science that we know to our actual policies. And people who won't be swayed by the logic of money. I am not taking any corporate donations. I'm not doing this for the money. But it's important that in Ohio we run a statewide campaign, because in Ohio we have a peculiar law that says the only way you can join a political party is to vote for that party in the primaries, which are in March. And so by running a statewide campaign, I'm giving people in all 88 counties in Ohio the opportunity to join the Green Party. If I just ran for a smaller office, then only the people in my smaller area would be able to join. We have right now over 50 petitioners, and we've gotten petition signatures from many different counties in Ohio. And my petitioners are all over the state, and I'm very grateful for the work they've done. I could not be poised on the brink right now of having enough signatures if they hadn't been working for me this whole time.
Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate. Joe DeMare, when did you start your petitioning process to get on the ballot for U.S. Senate in Ohio?
Well, I declared my candidacy on Earth Day, April 22nd. And that's when we started the petitioning process in late April. And mostly we've been focusing on generating petitioners, getting people to help. And that's been a very good strategy. We have well over 500 signatures now. I believe our count is about 780. But what happens once you turn your signatures in, the Republicans and Democrats challenge as many as they can. So we're aiming to turn in at least 800. And we have until December 14th. My goal is to turn them in on December 7th. But so we're very happy with what's been going on and with the people who've been working hard all through this year.
Joe, I just want to make sure, Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate in Ohio, your petition deadline is fast approaching, though. What was that date again, Joe?
The deadline is December 14th.
December 14th.
Yes. Yeah.
Joe, the Green Party petitioners that you have out there now, have you also been trying to convince them to get on the ballot for House of Representatives? Must they also hand in petitions by the same deadline?
Yes, they do. Luckily, though, for House of Representatives, they only need to turn in 25 valid signatures.
And what's the actual threshold for U.S. Senate?
What's the actual threshold?
Signature threshold?
500 valid signatures.
500 valid. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Are you optimistic? Joe, that some 800 plus signatures will be enough to get you on the ballot?
I am, because we've been so careful only to approach people who are eligible to sign. So I'm betting, I would guess at least 700 of our 800 are going to be valid, but we're going to make absolutely sure and not give them a chance to keep us off the ballot.
Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate in Ohio, fighting to get the signatures he needs to be on the ballot. Joe, are there any other Green Party candidates, local, state, or federal office, that you'd like to salute in Ohio, or anyone else who jumps out at you that you'd like to mention?
Well, I'd like to mention that this past election, we had 3 very good candidates running in Ohio. Elaine Mastromateo, Dennis Spizak, and Jim Villani. And Elaine and Dennis both got 15% in their elections, and Jim Villani got 7%. But I think it's a sign, it shows we've been getting larger and larger percentages with every election. I mean, once it would have been a Green just getting double digits, everyone would have celebrated. Now we're in the 15% range regularly, so we're now we're looking for wins. What I tell people is that when Jill Stein ran in 2012 here in Ohio, she got 0.3% of the vote because everyone was scared of Mitt Romney. But then when Anita Rios ran for governor in 2014, she got 3% of the vote. So what I'm expecting as a Senate candidate, I expect to get 30% of the vote. And it's just a natural progression.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And that would be enough to win.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Joe. And of course, Ohio has Green Party elected office holders, as does the Green Party in almost every state in the United States. I recall specifically a very successful Cleveland City Council elected Green Party person up there. If we could shift the conversation now, Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate, to policy. The Independent Green Party of Virginia, for example, advocates for more trains and less traffic, walkable, bikeable, pedestrian-friendly communities. And of course, Dr. Jill Stein talks about the Green New Deal, eco-jobs for the economy, solar jobs, wind jobs, geothermal jobs. Please tell us the first piece of legislation when elected as a Green Party member of the U.S. Senate. What would your first piece of legislation be that you would try to get past, Joe DeMare?
Well, if I could just get a piece or write out a bill and get it passed, I would do some federal standards for wind turbine placement. Because what the Ohio legislature just did this past year is essentially outlaw wind farms in Ohio. What they did was they required a quarter-mile setback for any wind turbine from the owner's property line in every direction, which means that you need to have at least a half a mile between your neighbors on either in order to put one turbine up. And those kinds of unreasonable laws make it virtually impossible to build a utility scale wind farm. So if I could do my first piece of legislation, just write it out and get it passed, I would set federal standards that would overturn what's been happening state by state. Is that the big oil companies have been pushing these, and ALEC have been pushing these bills that technically you can still do wind, but practically it makes it impossible.
Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate for state senate in Ohio on Independent Green Party and Green Party Green TV. Joe DeMare, renewable energies, solar, wind, geothermal, beyond wind. You make the key point that these Koch brother funded entities, these PACs, these groups, are pushing the fossil fuel agenda. Of course, the positive solution is to install solar, wind, geothermal everywhere possible. My own house is a plus house with geothermal heating and cooling, 51 solar panels, geothermal heating and cooling, and that means the house produces 10 times the energy it consumes, and I get a check. It's a profitable business of about $1,200 every 2 months. Joe, would you agree that every family in the United States could be making the same kind of money with renewable energy?
Well, yeah, they need the space to put the solar panels on, or they can buy into, here in Bowling Green, Ohio, where I live, we're about to do some community solar, which will allow anyone, even if they live in an apartment, to own a piece of a solar project. But the problem with people like the Koch brothers, the ultra wealthy, and with politicians who like to have authoritative control over people, they don't like the idea of solar and wind because it literally gives power to the people. Yes, every house in America should have solar panels. It should just be routine. And we can get rid of the nuclear, we can get rid of the coal, we can get rid of the oil, as long as we have the political will to do it. There's no longer any technical reason that we shouldn't switch to carbon-free energy. The entire problem at this point is political, which is why it's essential that we elect Green Party people who both understand this and who aren't going to be swayed by Koch brother money. I actually would look forward to sending back a Koch brother check. I think I would make a big deal of that.
There was actually Green Party, Ursula Roslin, the Green Party candidate for Congress in New York in the last cycle, or sent back a check to some folks who donated who were along those lines, Joe. Let's shift, if we could, to the federal budget. In the just concluded federal budget, the United States government spent about $3.6 trillion for the entire year. Of that, let me go now to my sheets. One of the key points that the U.S. Comptroller General has made is that the Pentagon does not have an auditable accounting system. 22 of the 20 federal agencies do audit their books. Joe, as a Green Party elected member of the U.S. Senate, would you support and would you advocate for installing an auditable accounting system to count the money at the Pentagon?
Yes, I would. But I think, as you pointed out with your first statistic, that the goal should also be to reduce the military spending. And of course, it does help to know what you're spending it on in the first place before you start reducing it. But our country is horribly lopsided. I remember I was watching a video once back in the old days. I was still alive during the days of the Soviet Union. And someone described the Soviet Union, because they spent such a large percentage of their budget on military, they said it was like a midget with an oversized arm. And it's funny, but that's kind of what the U.S. has become. We have an oversized commitment to military, and we've been literally starving the rest of our economy and the rest of our society. And it's time to reverse that flow, put more money back into social programs.
Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate in Ohio, and Dr. Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate for U.S. President, has put it in these terms: bring tax dollars and troops home. And as you were alluding to earlier, Joe DeMare, cut taxpayer subsidies to zero for big oil, big auto, big asphalt. In fact, just yesterday, a new study came out about the massive subsidies for fossil fuel. Now, would you, Joe DeMare, and we're running out of time here, we're coming down to just a minute, Joe, would you vote to cut those taxpayer subsidies? Would you take a conservative, green approach?
Oh, absolutely. It's funny, I was just at a holiday parade here this morning in Bowling Green, and we had an electric car in front of us, and we made a float that was a solar-powered float that had a PA system. We were playing songs about, like, Here Comes the Sun. And as we were walking down Main Street, we walked past a gas station where the price of gas right now in Ohio is about $1.75 a gallon for regular. And that price would be impossible without the federal government pumping our tax dollars into those corporations, the big oil companies. I think if we started paying the true cost of gasoline, more like they do in Europe and Canada, you would see everyone switching to hybrids and electric cars. And so
rail, more trains and less traffic.
That's
More
the reason
trains,
we
less
haven't
traffic.
shifted.
More real.
Joe DeMare, Green Party candidate, U.S. Senate in Ohio. Joe, Green Party, Green TV wishes you great success in your petition drive when you meet the deadlines. We'll be watching your campaign in the coming year. Joe DeMare, we thank you so much for joining us on Green Party, Green TV today. And now to Brooklyn.
The Independent Green Party and state Green Parties across the USA are recruiting local, state, and federal candidates for 2016. You can contact the Green Party webpage at www.greenpartygp.org. The National Green Party Facebook page at Facebook/Green Party US. You can contact the Independent Green Party by visiting our Indy Green Party Facebook page at Facebook-Indy Green Party Virginia. Or you can visit the Independent Green Party state webpage, www.votejoinrun.us.
And now we want to show you one of the most entertaining videos around from the Green Party's Reverend Billy Talon, a great candidate and an entertainer.
Blessed are the consumers. May your Amazon delivery drones, full of the latest video games, fly into the sun, give you a chance to clear your head. Blessed are you who confuse consumerism with freedom. You'll be delighted to discover the difference. Blessed are the people bowing their heads over the little glowing screens. When you look up, we'll be waiting for you. Your best friends, your best strangers. We're here waiting for you. Blessed are the workers inside corporations. You're always in a hurry. You're never on time. You're always late. But you're already rich. Blessed are the immigrants. We are crossing the rivers and deserts and the tossing sea. We're escaping to be with you. Blessed blessed are the beekeepers. We fly to touch 1,000 flowers. Pollination is polyamory nation. We're polynational. Honeybee-luya. Blessed are the police. There's an underground railroad from the murdered loved ones to the surviving loved ones. Cops, protesters, prisoners, citizens, we are all on that train. Blessed are the executives on Monsanto. You gotta stop. Stop trying to copyright life. Stop. Do nothing. Just sit there. A kind of wise laughter will circle the earth like a superstorm. Blessed are the children, for you will inherit the kingdom of bullets and drowning and starvation. May justice comfort you, like the dream of a happy family. May the earth reopen its gardens to you.
The biggest way people give up power is by not knowing that we have it to start with. Well, we got it, and we're going to use it. And it doesn't come from the big corporate political parties that are bought and paid for by Wall Street. Their choices are not our choices.
Their candidates are not our candidates. Their economy is not our economy.